Welcome to the Colliers Conversation Series. My name is Tyler Dolan, Managing Director of Vancouver Island and the Okanagan. With COVID impacting our lives in so many different ways, we thought we would take some time to share with you what we're seeing here on Vancouver Island. With me here today is Ben Wedge, one of our specialists on the Mid-Island. So tell us, what's happening in the Mid-Island now? What have you been seeing, particularly with the word we continually hear, COVID?
It's a good question. It's varied from asset class to asset class. For office leasing, there was somewhat limited demand. Retail leasing did slow down, but it's picked up again. And we're seeing a lot of activity, especially for smaller blocks of space. And for investment sales and industrial sales and leasing, there was a slight pause after COVID, but each asset class has picked up substantially, and there's a lot of demand for each. And I think it all circles back to there being a lot of growth in the Mid-Island. People are moving here. We see a lot of people come from Metro Vancouver to the Mid-Island, but we're also seeing a lot of people come from Victoria who are getting priced out of the market there. And one stat that I saw is in 2020, the average single detached family home in Victoria sold for over $1 million, but in Nanaimo it was $650,000.
So that's substantial. I mean, you're talking 40% plus difference in housing prices. So that obviously has an impact on the market. So how does the inward migration and, obviously some failures and things we've seen through COVID impact the commercial markets in Nanaimo?
With the growth in the population, particularly in Nanaimo, developers are building a lot of multifamily units because people need a place to live. So presently in Nanaimo, there's building permits approved for 1,300 multifamily units, given these are on the rental and the stratified side of things. But this makes a lot of sense, especially for the city of Nanaimo, because the vacancy rate is so low. It was 2% in 2019 and then 1% in 2020. And the other side of the population growth is it's driving a lot of activity in our industrial market. More people typically means more industry. So there's around 3 million square feet of industrial square footage in Nanaimo, but in Q4 2020, our vacancy rate was 0.4%. So although Nanaimo has a smaller market than Victoria, it did have a lower vacancy rate for that time period.
So I would suspect, although we're being quite Nanaimo-centric here, that's also something that's been echoed throughout the Mid-Island, correct? Are you also seeing activity out there, perhaps a bit slower, which you'd expect, but still industrial's hot, I would assume?
Industrial's really hot. We don't have the numbers yet for Q4 2020 for the Duncan industrial market, but it's around 1 million square feet of space. And in Q3 2020, I think it was hovering around a 1% vacancy. So very tight, not a lot of options for tenants in the market.
Okay, and I would assume, it's one thing I would expect or suspect is the fact that we've got all these different logistic companies that are coming into our marketplace because people are shopping from home.
Yep.
So obviously what we've seen in retail, there's been some impact. People are shopping from home. We need warehouses. We need places to park trucks and everything else. So it's been a great thing for that market.
Yep. And developers are trying to address that on the industrial side of things. There's a 43,000 square foot strata development that's nearing completion in central Nanaimo. But again, the demand in the market's evident with only three of its 13 units left available for sale or lease.
Terrific. So what I'm hearing is absorption is strong, inward population growth, all good, terrific signs. So what do you think the future holds? You joined us from Vancouver, so you're part of those people making the flight to a more affordable place to live, where you see how there's opportunity.
Yep.
As a younger person with a young family. Are we right to think it's going nowhere but up, or do you regret being on the island and want to be back in Vancouver?
I regret it.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I thought.
No, I'm super excited to be here. There's a ton of growth happening in the market all throughout the Mid-Island, and I think more growth can be expected. And if I was an investor, I would be bullish on the Mid-Island markets. One good example of being bullish on the Mid-Island markets on the retail investment side of things is that Jim Pattison Developments purchased Terminal Park Mall in December of last year, and it's a 30,000 square foot shopping center in central Nanaimo. And why I think there's going to be more growth is you're starting to see more investment in the Mid-Island. There was a good recent announcement through public and private funding. There's going to be upwards of $100 million invested in the Port of Nanaimo's container capacity to help facilitate that growth. And that's only going to have a positive effect for job growth, for business growth, and subsequent to that, there's going to be a greater need for commercial real estate.
That was fantastic. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank everybody for joining us today. If you require any additional information, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or a Colliers professional. We're definitely here to help. You can also visit the Colliers Canada website, where you will find up-to-date market research, you will find additional videos, and information on other services we have here to offer. Thanks, and all the best.